What if a cursed summer camp became the site of brutal murders and dark secrets? In Fear Street, Part 2, 1978, Netflix delivers a terrifying slasher-filled journey that takes us back to a 1970s summer camp where something sinister lurks behind the trees. But this isn't just any ordinary horror flick. There's a chilling twist that ties it all to the larger mystery of Sarah Fier's curse. In this video, we'll dive deep into the events of Fear Street Part 2, 1978, uncovering hidden connections to the first film and exploring the dark secrets of Camp Nightwing. You'll learn about the gripping story, the strong performances that bring the characters to life, and how this installment amps up the horror while paying homage to classic slasher films. But what you might not know is how this film manages to blend a love letter to the 70s with a shocking backstory that sets the stage for the trilogy's thrilling conclusion. Stick with us till the end, because we'll also reveal some lesser-known facts about the making of the film that might just surprise you. If you're a fan of horror, nostalgia, or gripping suspense, you're in the right place. Welcome to Movies Review. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on more exciting movie insights and reviews. Let's get into it. In Fear Street Part 2, 1978, we are introduced to two sisters, Cindy and Ziggy Berman, who are caught in a horrifying situation at Camp Nightwing, a seemingly typical summer camp in the 1970s. However, things quickly spiral into terror when a series of brutal murders begin to take place, all tied to the infamous curse that has plagued Shadyside for generations. Cindy, the older, more responsible sister, tries to take control and protect her campmates, while Ziggy, the rebellious and headstrong younger sister, becomes entangled in the mystery that's unfolding around them. The central conflict revolves around a possessed Shadysider, who becomes the vessel for the curse's malevolent spirit, leading to a string of gruesome killings at the camp. The tension escalates as the characters realize that these events are not just random acts of violence, but part of a larger, more sinister pattern linked to the curse of Sarah Fier, a witch executed centuries ago. The deaths aren't just bloodshed, they are the key to understanding the horror that has haunted the town of Shadyside for years. As we dive deeper into the story, we see the survivors from Fear Street Part 1, 1994, Dina and Josh, searching for answers. They unearth the tragic backstory of Sarah Fier and the terrifying truth about the curse. The events of 1978 serve as a critical puzzle piece that connects the dots between the past and the present, ultimately revealing a cycle of death and survival that has haunted the Shadyside residents for generations. Fear Street, Part 2, 1978 is a love letter to the slasher films of the late 70s and 80s. With its summer camp setting, masked killer, and series of brutal murders, it taps into the familiar tropes that fans of slasher films know and love. However, it doesn't simply mimic the genre. It reinvents it with a modern twist, blending nostalgic references with fresh ideas. The film's homage to classics like Friday the 13th is apparent in both its setting and its brutal kills, while its character-driven story brings a unique depth that distinguishes it from its predecessors. The summer camp itself is an essential part of the atmosphere. The isolated woods, the rundown cabins, and the nighttime campfires all contribute to an eerie sense of dread that constantly looms over the characters. The film builds suspense by playing with the audience's expectations of the genre. One moment, we're drawn into a quiet scene of teenage drama, only to be thrust into heart-pounding moments of terror when the masked killer strikes. What makes this movie stand out is how it blends teen drama with horror. At the core of the story is the dynamic between Cindy and Ziggy, two sisters with vastly different personalities who find themselves fighting for survival in an increasingly dangerous environment. Their journey is not only one of physical survival, but emotional survival as they confront their own fears and traumas. The film does a great job of using the camp setting as a backdrop for these characters to navigate their relationships and their evolving roles in the face of horror. The performances of Sadie Sink, Ziggy, and Emily Rudd, Cindy, are standout elements of Fear Street Part 2. 1978. Sink, known for her role in Stranger Things, brings a raw intensity to Ziggy, a rebellious girl who is often overlooked by those around her. Her arc is one of survival, not just from the killer, but from the harsh realities of living in a town cursed by death. Throughout the movie, she evolves from a teenager with a tough exterior into a character who must confront the very things she's been running from. Emily Rudd's portrayal of Cindy is just as compelling. Cindy, the responsible older sister, carries a sense of guilt and duty that weighs heavily on her. She becomes the backbone of the group, trying to protect others while still dealing with her own vulnerabilities. Rudd does a fantastic job of showing Cindy's internal struggle, particularly as she faces the horrors of the camp and the connection between Sarah Fier's curse and her own survival. At the heart of these performances is the theme of sibling bonds. The Berman sisters are a testament to how family can become both a source of strength and a burden in the face of unimaginable fear. Their relationship is tested as they fight to stay alive, but it's through their bond that they find the strength to face the evil that haunts them. The emotional depth given to these characters adds layers to the typical slasher narrative, turning the film into more than just a sequence of bloody killings. It becomes a story of survival, growth, and the scars that trauma leaves behind. Fear Street Part 2. 1978 has been largely well received by critics and audiences alike, holding an impressive 88% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics have praised the film for its ability to both honor the slasher genre and elevate it with strong character development and an intriguing plot. The film's nostalgic 70s vibe, combined with modern storytelling, has resonated with both longtime horror fans and a younger audience discovering these tropes for the first time. However, the movie's darker tone has also been a point of discussion. Compared to the first installment, 1994-1978 leans more into the horror and less into the playful, self-aware humor. While some viewers appreciated the film's deeper exploration of fear and trauma, others noted that it felt more grim and less fun than its predecessor. This darker tone gives the film a unique identity within the trilogy, setting it apart as the middle chapter that not only deepens the mystery but intensifies the horror elements. Audience reactions also highlight the emotional weight of the story, particularly the performances of Sadie Sink and Emily Rudd, which garnered a lot of positive feedback. Many fans noted how the sibling dynamic brought an emotional core to the chaos, making the stakes feel more personal and relatable. Despite the film's intense violence and gore, it's this emotional depth that has helped Fear Street Part 2. 1978 connect with audiences on a deeper level. When comparing 1978 to the first film, 1994, the differences in tone and style are immediately evident. While 1994 had a more energetic, meta approach to the slasher genre, filled with pop culture references and a more modern feel, 1978 is a darker, more straightforward slasher film. It embraces the brutal nature of the 70s slasher genre, with less focus on comedy and more emphasis on tension, survival, and trauma. This tonal shift makes 1978 feel more like a classic horror film, but with the same underlying mystery that ties it back to the larger Fear Street universe. Looking ahead, the third installment, Fear Street Part 3, 1666, promises to tie up the saga of Sarah Fier's curse. This film will delve into the origins of the curse and reveal how the events of 1978 and 1994 are all connected to a centuries-old tragedy. The final chapter of the trilogy will likely provide the answers that fans have been waiting for, making 1978 an essential piece of the puzzle. It sets the stage for a powerful conclusion where all the mysteries will finally come to light. In conclusion, Fear Street Part 2, 1978 delivers a thrilling and suspenseful experience, making it a strong sequel that builds on the foundation laid by the first film. With its chilling atmosphere, nostalgic 70s summer camp setting, and brutal slasher elements, it keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. The performances of Sadie Sink and Emily Rudd bring emotional depth to the story, making the horror even more impactful. Whether you're a fan of classic slasher films or looking for a fresh take with a modern twist, this film has something for everyone. If you love a good slasher film with a gripping story and characters you can root for, then Fear Street Part 2, 1978, is definitely worth a watch. It's a perfect mix of horror, suspense, and a little bit of heart, setting the stage for the final chapter of the trilogy. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give this video a like and make sure to subscribe to Movies Review for more in-depth movie breakdowns and reviews. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.